will first introduce myself. My name is Eco Com. I am the current Secretary for Media and Communication of the United Democratic Party. Today is my maiden press conference with the members of the media, so I felt the need to do a quick introduction, and I believe today is the first time I also met many of you in person. I would like to say good morning to Your Excellency, Honorable Alhaji A.N.M. Hussein Udabo, the party leader and the Secretary General of the United Democratic Party. I would also like to say good morning to the members of the high table here, starting from my left, Joey Goswell, who is a staunch and a prominent member and a supporter of the United Democratic Party from 1996 to date. We welcome him from the UK, who is currently on a visit to the Gambia. Also say good morning to Mr. Lamin Mane, who many of you already know, who is not a guest or a stranger to the members of the media, and also members of our protocol team here to my right, all the way to the admin secretary for the bureau here, Mr. Mbu, and all his team that he works with here at the bureau. And to you, the media, I say good morning. We appreciate you and we thank you for your presence here today. You all have been an excellent partner with the United Democratic Party throughout the year. We appreciate the initiatives and the effort that you all took, starting from Banjul here or touring with us through the provinces, from the small towns to the mainlands, to the inlands, to the rivers and the belongs across this country. From the mountains to down to the lower hills, all across the Gambia, you guys were there with us, especially our female members of the media fraternity, who went above and beyond all expectations I ever imagined. Some of them, I saw them myself riding behind pickup trucks, all in the duty of serving the Gambia. So we say thank you to them, we appreciate you, and we see your efforts, and job well done to you all. So today's press conference will be very precise and concise to the point, the reason why we have a very lean team here today with the party leader. The party leader will be giving us his end of year recap as a leader and a stakeholder, not only in our politics, but also as elderly statesman in this country. And he will also give a brief report about the current concluded nationwide tour that he went on, where he met members of the United Democratic Party, but also met with all Gambians, young and old, men and women, across the length and breadth of this country, understand what are some of the challenges and struggles they're going through, and he also shared what are some of the plans that the United Democratic Party has in our policies and our programs should we be elected in 2026. And inshallah, we believe that the United Democratic Party will be elected in 2026. So without any further ado, I will now pass it over to His Excellency, the party leader, Alhaji Hussein Udabo, to give his press statement. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Camara, and thank you very much, members of the press, for responding to our invitation as usual. You've never been wanting when the call is made on you by all political actors and by others whose activities impact the lives of many people of this country. You always respond to their calls. I thank you for that. I don't know how you spend your Christmas, but sure, some of us spend it very well thinking about this country. And I am sure the month of December was very good. Maybe November, December was very good for the media fraternity, because I saw that you had a sumptuous dinner of the media fraternity. I think that was a awards night. And of course, the high watermark of it was with his successive president. So I think the media really has some good outings in the past 4 weeks. I'm sure that good outing will continue into 2026. Gentlemen of the press, in January this year, we all welcome the new year with great optimism. We all welcome the new year with the belief that our country will really see what its citizens want it to be. We look forward to the amelioration of living conditions of the Gambian people. We are looking forward to a drop or to drops in the prices of commodities. We are looking forward to employment opportunities being provided and given to the Gambian people. We are looking forward to our farmers being properly rewarded for their labor. These and many other things, including a new constitution, we have always looked forward to. These and other things, I think that we really look forward as a nation, and we have hoped by the end of 2025, we will certainly have pounded our chests and say we as Gambians have got together and done for this great nation what it deserves. But from the look of things, it's not from the look of things, from actualities, this optimism has been dashed. We have been faced with disappointments. We have been disappointed by a government that does not care, a government that is very neglectful of its citizens. And this, to me, was quite apparent, was quite clear when I embarked on the tour of the country, meeting people from various, meeting people of all walks of life, of all ethnicities and of all religions, from Bara to the Woolies, from the Tumanas to the Congos, and even Bantu. The entire nation is in a state of despair. In the provinces, people did not hide their inability to access clean drinking water. People did not hide their inability to have 3 square meals. People did not hide their inability to have proper med care from their hospitals and from their medical outfits. This was the cry throughout. The farmers were very dejected that their own labor has not been recognized. For the past 3 years, while the salaries of government civil servants and their political masters are increased. In fact, the president has said that since he came in, their salaries have increased by 110%. But the earnings of the ordinary farmers remain stagnant, while the prices of commodities kept increasing. This is what the government people have been telling us, and this is what we saw firsthand, because this or what we saw was quite different from what we saw in 2022 and 2023. And it just shows that we are going down, that we've never made any attempt to really de-escalate the level of poverty in this country. That in fact, what is being done is to increase the level of poverty in this country. Farmers have cried the fact that access to fertilizer was difficult. And where it was possible, the prices are affordable. Those who want to change their habitable conditions will no longer do so because of the increase in the price of cement. So, for one thing, I told the community that I think we are all going back to building more houses because the price of cement is becoming so unaffordable. People will no longer be engaged in changing their conditions of habitation by building houses that really defeat or should defeat the status of any person. Of course, before I went on the tour, His Excellency the President, in the guise of satisfying the constitutional requirement of touring the country, went out on a 3 weeks campaign, political campaign, instead of on a tour that is within the contemplation of the Constitution. The Constitution never contemplated that the President would go out and selling his party. The Constitution contemplates that the President will go out, interact with the population, and have a meaningful engagement with them to assess the impact of any policy, on any government policy, on the population. But what did we see? We saw the President ready on a campaign that the NPP dominated. When the ministers spoke, they didn't speak as state ministers. They spoke as party ministers. They spoke as people who were advancing the political fortunes of the NPP. And I think ironically, in the process, some parties were killing themselves. Because if you cannot talk of NRP, you cannot talk of GMC, you cannot talk of all of another party, but another party you talk about is MPP. They were unintentionally killing their own parties and then being subsumed into MPP. But I'm bringing out this to say that the politicians that were there, who were supposed to be addressing national issues, were there talking only about the fortunes of NPP, what NPP has done and what NPP could do. And I think the IEC should really look at their situation and say, well, really, those parties should continue to be on the register of political parties. Parties that do not talk about themselves, parties that do not have their own program, but only go about promoting for NPP. But I guess that is their choice. So if they inflict harm on themselves, good for them. But the point we want to make is that what was undertaken by the President was unconstitutional for those who have done in the guise of performing constitutional duty. Of course, there is a party in government, but then there must be a separation between party and government. Because what the Constitution really impels the President to do is not to go on an NPP campaign. And in that campaign, the President was disdainful, contemptuous, condescending to people. When you can face eloquence and tell them that you should be thankful to me for giving you that. You should be thankful to me for providing you that. When it was you who covenanted with the eloquence that if you do elect me, this is what I will do. following up on that promise needs no gratitude. It needs no praising from the other place. In fact, any default, any failure to really abide by the covenant with the other place should receive widespread condemnation in your face, and it shouldn't be done in your back. But the president felt that he was doing a favor to the people of the Gambia by, quote unquote, providing them road infrastructure. He thought he was doing favors to the people of the Gambia by, quote unquote, providing electricity supply for them. But no, he wasn't doing any favors to anybody. He was doing exactly what he was required to do. And in any case, he was only using your money to execute those projects. And if any of the monies came in through loans and grants, it came in your name, not in his name. Any party in power would just have done the same thing. And we want the president and his government to go and implement the various developmental projects, but not to say that they are doing so as a favor, that's a favor to the Gambian people. We encourage them, because that is why our National Assembly members, our National Assembly members, jointly with other National Assembly members, approve the budget and make suggestions as to how funds should really be used. So it was not, these funds were not ones that were provided by President Baba, but were funds that were provided by the National Assembly, which includes the Udp National Assembly members, the Doi National Assembly members, and the North Alliance National Assembly members. So this was not a gift by President Baba. But in his usual Karasat manner, having berated someone, I believe somewhere in a village chairman, I believe somewhere in Nyamina, or somewhere in the provinces, for not showing gratitude, he, instead of responding responsibly as to how his government will handle some aspects of healthcare in this country, which was raised by the member of Banjul North, President Barrow berated him that you cannot tell me my job, how I should do my job. Of course, he forgets that he's accountable, and any member of the National Assembly can raise issues with him, and he can be summoned to the National Assembly to account for what his administration is doing, and he will be told at the National Assembly what ought to be done by his government. But I guess there's a clear lack of understanding of how governments operate. That is why President Barrow believes that no member of the National Assembly should raise issues with him, and issues that are very pertinent. It is quite pathetic that in 21st century Gambia, premature babies, more than one premature baby can be placed in an incubator. That is certainly unacceptable in the 21st century Gambia. And the way we think this should be ameliorated is by really doing away with the wasteful spendings, doing away with budget lines that are really that are not really advancing the healthcare in this country. What about slicing down the mini pharma store? Why not cut the budget and get as many incubators as possible? Why not the so many unproductive advisors that we have, the funds being utilized for their remuneration and the other perks of the offices. Why don't you use that and provide scholarships to as many people, as many who want to study journalism or who want to go to the School of Medicine? Why don't you stop this flamboyant lifestyle? Buying vehicles that cost $9 million, $5 million, why do you have to buy those vehicles? Why can't you buy vehicles that are functional and could still do the services that they should, that the expensive vehicles will do, and apply the funds to agriculture and equip institutions like NARI so that the ability in conducting research can be improved, so that you can have farms, trial farms for crops that we don't think can thrive in this country, but you can have trial farms on them. Why can't we do that? But then the government is certainly not interested in that. What they are interested in is really to ensure that their own pockets are lined, properly lined, by giving away road construction contracts. And that is where they back in what should go into their pockets, inflate the prices. But it is only the government that cares that will think that way. These are some of the things that the Gambian people have thought with optimism will not happen in their country, but it has happened. And the only way to bring an end to that, the only way to ensure that this not happen in future in this country, is to reject the Barrow government and put and install a United Democratic Party government under Mr. Damas leadership, and the deliverable will be delivered at the right time, at the right moment, and for the right people. But in the education sector, I want to thank Holland Foundation, MRC Holland Foundation, for their generosity, for really raising funds from the ordinary taxpayers abroad in the various countries where they operate, and funneling those funds for building for making schools and classrooms available to us. We thank them profusely for that. And we hope that that partnership with the Holland Embassy Foreign Foundation will go with progress, and it will progress for the good of for the good of this country. And I think that whilst the president can talk about provision of schools, I think MRC Foundation should be acknowledged as the people who really provide these classrooms. I struggled through the budget to see if I can see the budget item on the school, building of new school, but I don't think I saw any. It may be there, but I don't think there is any budget line by government for building new schools. I have not seen it. It may be there, and I want to be corrected. But I know that whatever is being done in the area of education is certainly being done by MRC Foundation and by other philanthropists who extend helping hand to our communities in the rural areas. Of concern to us is really the school feeding program. I believe the World Food Program probably bringing that to an end, but there appears to be no plans for the substitution of that facility in the schools. And the UDP believes that we should have decent budget allocations so that the school feeding program can go on. And in addition, that we encourage production, food production in our communities so that we can really provide substitutes for this program. Now, the agriculture sector also, which will be the backbone of this country, appears to be neglected. We are told that more than $1 billion have been allocated to agriculture. But how much of that goes to personal emolument? How much of that goes into the provision of fertilizer? How much of that goes into, acquiring seeds for our farmers? How many of that goes into insecticide? How many of that goes into that? And how many of that goes into research? The bulk of that budget allocation is really into personal development, workshops, and so forth. We, the government, will certainly pay great heed to workshops, but that's where the technical personnel meet and brainstorm as to what should be in the various sectors. We certainly will not we certainly not given any blind eye to that. We will not diminish its importance. But then, the budget that is allocated has to be utilized responsibly. We cannot go on buying good cars and have them tainted and when they are supposed to be in the field. I think Land Rovers really, in the old days, we should really go back to Land Rovers. Want to be in Jahal Baja, want to be in Sato, want to be in Junoy, want to be in Yungu, and the best methods of, really, best methods of transportation. So certainly, that's Land Rovers. There is some land courses that you find, project heads, riding on. I'm not sure whether those are the right tools for the Department of Agriculture. You have to also bring ourselves down to the level of the people you are serving. You cannot go to Fuga and want to talk farmers, and you are there in your Jasna, with the $5 million or $3 million vehicle, with your packets of water from natural or from wells or whatever, and you're talking to people who you say you are concerned about. You should reduce yourself to their level so that they can understand you. Otherwise, they believe that you are just there to deceive them. You are just there to talk to them, but you are really not doing anything that augurs well for their interest. And we think that most of the expenditures in terms of vehicles should really be reduced and go in for efficient, affordable, and very easy to service vehicles to promote our agriculture. And the funds that are used in this provide expensive fund, those should be diverted to really advance our agriculture. Now, education, healthcare, and agriculture, these are certainly the three areas that need to be really addressed. because they relate to human development. They are the ones that really uplift, that will uplift us from where we are. 2025 has been a year of despair. Just this morning, I heard on news a confirmation that 190 people or more have perished, as the person put it, in the dark waters of the Atlantic Ocean. 190, just within 1 hour, losing that number of them. Can we imagine the potentials that have been lost in that sea? Can you imagine if those people were on land and stayed in the garden and the proper atmosphere created for them? Can we imagine how many doctors we could have from them? Can you imagine how many productive farmers can we have from that group? They all went away, sadly, with great ambition to go and get something which they can bring back to their fatherland. They all went away in silence, with great determination to do something great for this country. But alas, their hopes, their dreams remain and will ever remain unfulfilled because they are not. Should that be the situation in this country? That after so many years, after people, young people, had danced, had sung that mantabak bangulenke, mantabak baroganyet, when young people are singing that. Should we now be seeing people venturing in the back? I think this situation calls for a national dialogue. I think the situation calls for all of us to converge and seriously discuss this issue, seriously address it. We cannot be saying that we are providing jobs when people are really living because they do not have jobs. We cannot be pretending that we are carrying development in our country when we are not using the funds to create jobs for our young people. And what is sad is to say whole family perish, father, son, and wife, all perish. That is something that will bring our conscience, our national conscience. I asked President Barrow, as the president of this country, to take the lead, convene a national conference, a national dialogue, and it should not be 1-2 hours. It should be at least a 3-hour convergence at which we can all seriously discuss this great menace. It's taking a big toll of our population. Our labor is being destroyed. And we must preserve this labor. Intelligent people are dying. Those intelligent, we must make use of their talents. We must make use of their intelligence in this country. And we cannot just say that we have created jobs that preach the undesirability of going into the bad way. Let us get together and come out with concrete plan. It's a national issue, it's not partisan political issue. It's a matter that affects everyone. Every family in this country, I'm sure, has suffered or has been, negatively impacted by this bad way cycle. And I want to ask that what we would have done, and I ask the government to do, because we put this that there must be surveillance on our coastal cities and our coastal settlements. Down on the 24-hour patrol on our coastal villages. And certainly, buses, commercial vehicles that really go across to Mali, we should be vigilant with them, whilst no one should really interfere with any individual's right of moving out of the country as you wish. But we should also try to see, if those moving out are not really trying to get to Mali, Niger, so that they can get to the Libya and other places to join this wicked people and embark on this risky journey. So, the optimism that we have when we enter 2025, we want to enter with the same optimism for 2026. But as far as the backway issue is concerned, I think we must do so really with the belief that whatever is proposed by others who are not in government is done genuinely, legitimately to address a national issue that is really crushing the life of our nation. And apart from the issue of the backway syndrome, it appears that we do have a huge number of neglected children on the streets, a huge number of them. And I wonder what the Department of Social Welfare is doing in getting these children off the streets. We need to also act collectively to save these children, because they constitute part of a brighter future for the Gambia. But if they are left neglected, if they are left roaming the streets, becoming beggars, then their usefulness as citizens will become questionable. And it is for us now to start addressing that issue before it becomes as worse as the backway syndrome. We of the United Democratic Party believe that the destiny of this country can be better served by the Gambian people voting for us in 2026. That is a must. It is generally believed, and I think that is regular pride, that UDP is a very strong vehicle for the liberation of the Gambia. And I ask everyone to join that vehicle so that the Gambia we want, the better Gambia that we all want, we can have in 2026, so that between moving from 2027, we will have a government that will serve the interest of the Gambian people. The economic hardship can only be addressed if there is discipline in the management of our resources. The economic hardship of this country can be properly managed if only our national assets, our national strategic assets are properly managed. We had spoken against the pledging or the mortgaging of the Gambia's Senegambia Bridge. We have spoken against it. And we have also spoken against the contract, or not contract, the franchising of the Gambia Ports Authority, one of our biggest national assets, to foreign interests. And we did so because we believe that with a competent management, going into partnership with any potential investors, the fortunes of our ports facilities can be done for the better. But again, the reason why the ports is being given to foreign business interests. Some are saying, although I do not have any evidence, that because of some personal gains, that some will deriving from that transaction. So I think we should put that above everything and with ourselves. When we spoke against these things, people thought we are just being impossible, that these are losers and they have nothing good, nothing better to say against this government. So they go on condemning everything that we do. But alas, we see a lot of people are also thinking the way we've thought. And I can bet you, all that we have said in the past about running the affairs of this country, we people are silent on. A lot more people will talk about them in the coming campaigns. So, what I want to say that for the new year, United Democratic Party looks forward to really working with the press for the dissemination of our position, our views, our concerns, and whatever solution or alternatives we will provide for those. And I wish to thank you all for your presence, and I wish you all a happy new year and a commitment by every Gambian that 2026 Gambia will be redeemed. That 2026 will see the creation of a new Gambia, and that every Gambian who really believes that this country needs good leadership, committed leadership, tested leadership, you will vote for the United Democratic Party in 2026. If it is commitment, Hussein Dabo has shown it. Even before getting into politics, and the United Democratic Party has been there all throughout, from 1996 up to today. The United Democratic Party has been there for the Gambians. At no time have we taken a decision that was self-serving. This one that have been taken by us have always been in the best interest of the country. And even where Sehu may disagree with it, but after 3 or 4 months, he realizes that yes, that was a good decision by the United Democratic Party. Again, let me wish you all a happy new year, and hope that when we meet again at a date that Mr. Kamara will decide, we'll meet in a much happier mood, because we've seen that probably the country is energizing. The country is warming up to a change that will be for the good of the country. I thank you all.